So let's start with the state of the beta. I played Hearthstone since the beginning of the game, and one thing that they never seemed to get down was, the whole community feedback thing, clarifying cards, and those seem to be the focus of this little State of the Union here. So let's go over it. It's been a little over a month since Runeterra entered beta. So it started in last January? It's only been 3 months now. Goal is to bring deep interactive strategy to the genre through a combination of back and forth gameplay, indirect attacking, skill shot spells that provide reaction windows. That's like fast or burst beats fast, which beats slow, which happens you just have to use a turn to use slow. So let's talk about the good. Champion level ups are slick. The champion level ups are slick, actually. I get so hype every time the animation plays. Champs often feel like their league counterpart, even down to the obnoxiously effective ones like Teemo and Ezreal. I can definitely second that Teemo. I've never played Ezreal, so I'm learning what cards I want to play out of this, honestly. We're going to have to check out Ezreal. So with the update to displaying champions at match start and whenever their level up makes progress, champions are even more present and active throughout games. Interactive strategy. The back and forth gameplay combined with fast and slow spells allows for lots of strategy and outplay moments. We'll probably never get tired of screenshots like this. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. I wish they would put the eye there. I wish the screenshot would have been highlighting over the eye so you could have seen the result of all of these chains. The stuff we're improving. So far we've improved clarity via card text and other updates, like the action log now including discarded cards. See, this is something Hearthstone was always terrible at. Given the huge combinatorial nature of the game, we suspect will never be done here and intend to continue improving clarity over time. That's just a big deal. That's going to make this game, that's going to set this game apart from things like Magic and Hearthstone. UI and deck builder are also on the mind. We've received a ton of feedback on the client, deck builder, collection management in particular. I honestly thought the deck builder and the UI was okay. Timer getting timed out round after round due to a large barrage of burst spells sucks. Look forward to timer adjustments for burst spells in one of the next 2 patches. And I think when we actually go to the patch notes that are being deployed soon, they will. So some players are disappointed when they discovered our FPS options. This was a feature we misjudged the value of and a great example of the type of feedback we were excited to get by jumping into open beta earlier. We added several FPS options in 0.9.0. And now players everywhere can warm themselves with the heat of their rigs. Good. Our priority is to make a game that is as much fun to interact with as it is to look at. Once this baseline is good, we'll continue on to the more egregious single card examples, while updating our internal guidelines to ensure these lessons get applied to new content too. No more multi-second chained axes from Draven. Good stuff. We think that great card games offer endlessly interesting and interactive puzzles, chief among them a healthy metagame waiting to be cracked. Waiting, bruh. From the beginning, we believed bringing the Riot live service mentality to bear would help keep Runeterra fresh and ever evolving. Our strategies to accomplish this include no bad cards. No bad cards ever is interesting. That goes against what Hearthstone and Magic does, which is monthly card updates that empower the developers to keep meta healthy and awesome to play. Yeah. Between sets, yeah. So they're going for monthly updates, even when they go on their regular set schedule. They're still going to have monthly card updates. New cards and content to exponentially expand the possibilities. We've been blown away by the variety of decks we've seen at all levels of play. It's felt like there was a new OP deck meme each week. Elusives, Fearsome, Dawnspeakers, Elnix. I've definitely played Elusives and Fearsome. So here's what they're going to improve on, I think. The card play rate. They're going to work on some champions. Our aspiration is that every card has a role and every champion stream is realizable for every player. never-ending task in general, but simply put, some of our champions aren't hitting the ball. We do look at all levels of ranked play, but our hard metrics for must-change cards are indicated by higher rank, and the deck win rate itself, of course. There are a ton of opportunities for interaction. Players have been able to push the boundaries of minimal interactivity a lot with certain decks. Fearsome and elusive, yeah. So Ezreal Frostbite, okay. So yeah, specifically, things like Challenger. I guess Fearsome too. Yeah, Fearsome is big. I've been winning a lot of games with Fearsome. Here we need to walk a fine line between satisfaction, interaction, and games actually end. Certain regions will be better or worse at different aspects of interaction, but we want players to have tools available to combat certain strategies if need be. We'll continue looking at ways to provide these tools in addition to keeping low interaction with decks in check. Yeah, that sounds like an uphill battle, but it seems like they've done a good job so far. These healthy patterns, it definitely is going to be difficult. They've already put elusive in the game, which is Magic's flying, and flying is rough, dude, just by design. If they don't fly, you can't block it. So they're going to need to put probably reach in the game. We've always held the opinion that games should feel decided by players and not cards. RNG has a place, but it shouldn't take the lead, and good RNG design creates novel circumstances that players can adapt to. I agree with this wholeheartedly. Shadow Isles has been performing as the best region holistically by a decent margin. This is the one that pairs with Elise. Is this Spiders? Mark of the Isle is ridiculous. Frenzied Skitterer, yeah, that's the Spider. They're gonna nerf Shadow Isles. The first 10 games I played with the Elise deck, Shadow Isles deck, I went 10-0. I didn't lose till like my 15th game. And I had never played the deck before. Improved. Some of the lowest play rate champions have very narrow archetypes, Vladimir and Shen. For these champions, we look to make their narrow decks a bit more meta. I wish they would just say they make them stronger. How do they know what is going to be meta? Okay, dude. I don't know if they should be trying to create a meta. I don't know if they necessarily are. I think this might be just like a slip of vocabulary. But I think they should be trying to make a card more powerful rather than more fitting within a metagame. And then there are what we call consumptive champions. This level up dreams involve destroying your opponent's dreams. Looking at you, Yasuo and Ezreal. Yeah, we gotta check out Ezreal. And then Callista is just unplayable. The economy. From the inception, we wanted a progression system that proved to players why card games could be awesome. Imaginative new decks, endless tinkering, and fierce competition. We anticipated having to get creative to accomplish this, even if that meant throwing away their traditional pack model. So far, 75% of open beta players are saying they're satisfied with the progression system, while 18% are dissatisfied. It's pretty solid. I think there's key areas where Runeterra can do better. The progression system is interesting because, like, the wild cards, you can only buy a certain amount, so it does limit what you're gonna spend your wild cards on, and so you kind of want it to be good. You kind of don't want to waste your wild cards on anything bad. So, yeah, I could see this being something that they need to address. Let's see what they do about it. While collections are building up at a great rate, that's not the only way we measure success. We think a critical measure is how well players can achieve their shorter-term goals, like completing a particular deck. Looking at that data again, we see about 1/3 of players saying the decks they want to play feel unattainable. That makes sense to me. Likely from getting left behind due to poor RNG in their vaults, for champions in particular. We also see that some players are uneasy experimenting because wild cards feel too precious and it's too unpredictable when you'll get more. This is exactly what I just said. Instead of experimenting, we're seeing stockpiling, which is definitely less fun. Before launch, we're planning updates to our progression system to increase predictability and encourage using wild cards so players are more excited to experiment. Love this. There's no way to capture the exact same experience as open beta in the first set of cards, but we're thinking hard about how to make the next set and every future set an equally exciting experience. Personalization, been delighted by the response of the initial batch of Guardians and boards. T-Hex, more Guardians, more boards. New cosmetic lines such as card backs, emotes, and card styles. Ooh, I like the idea of card style. They have different League of Legends skins for their champion cards. That'd be tight. Call me up, Riot. I have so many ideas for this. We already talked about some of our plans to increase player expression in the form of new cosmetic lines. There's something else we haven't mentioned yet. Modes and formats. One thing that has always kept us coming back to card games is the infinite number of ways they can be played. Many of our favorite formats were even made by the community, in lieu of the original designers pursuing them. We believe that it's when tons of cards mean an equally wide variety of modes that our game will truly shine, and we're excited to start down that path this year. And look forward to new ways to play your collection, compete, and be recognized. Sure.